Welcome back to our channel. Today is a wildly unpredictable day in the world of Port Charles, and we are absolutely buzzing with all the latest developments. Grab your coffee or your late-night snack because we have a massive breakdown to get into right now. Let's just dive straight into the madness. Okay, so I've been thinking about this, and my brain is just absolutely short-circuiting over what Willow just did. Like I am sitting here staring at my screen, replaying the scene in my head, and I just cannot wrap my mind around the sheer escalation of it all. Here's what's bugging me. Willow has been doing some deeply questionable things lately, right? I mean, drugging Drew to make it look like he has locked-in syndrome is already top-tier soap opera villainy. But going from a manipulative drugging wife to a literal blunt force murderer in the span of like 5 minutes. It's weird, like really weird. The whole thing is just weird, but also a kind of brilliant, or maybe not, I don't know. I'm second-guessing everything right. Now, okay, wait. Let me back up. Actually, no, first I should mention the phone call because the phone call is the catalyst for this entire psychological break. Willow was just lurking as one does in the Quartermain mansion, and she overhears Jen Sidwell on the phone. And he's not just making some vague corporate threat. He's literally ordering a hitman to take out Drew. To permanently silence him about the whole locked-in plan so there are no loose ends. And I'm just thinking, who is he even talking to? Is it Pascal? Or maybe Cassius Faison? I think it was episode 12 or 13. Somewhere around there where Sidwell mentioned having operatives on speed dial. Probably doesn't matter, but I noticed he always uses his left hand when making these sinister calls. Anyway, the point is wait. What was the point? Oh right, he wants Drew dead. So Willow hears this, and you can practically see the gears grinding in her head. It's this twisted, horrific moment of clarity for her. She realizes that her own actions, drugging Drew with a paralytic, keeping him trapped in his own body, were in her warped mind an act of love. Or at least an act of possession. She was doing it to keep him. It's sick, obviously, but in her head she was preserving their bond. But Sidwell just wants him eliminated, erased. And suddenly, Willow's primal protective instinct just flares up. It's like she's thinking, nobody gets to hurt Drew but me. I mean, not exactly, but kind of. It's this bizarre juxtaposition of a woman who is actively torturing a man suddenly becoming his fiercest protector because someone else threatened to end his life. And then Sidwell walks into the dining room. He's got this incredibly smug, triumphant smile on his face, probably thinking he just neatly tied up a massive loose end and won the game. He has no idea that Willow is standing right there, fully unhinged and operating on pure adrenaline. And this is where the scene just goes completely off the rails for me. Willow grabs a decorative statue. Heavy, presumably solid bronze or marble statue. I kept trying to pause the screen to see what the statue actually was. Was it a horse? A gargoyle? An abstract piece of modern art that Tracy bought in Milan in like 2014? I don't know why I'm fixating on the statue, but it feels important, like the sheer weight of it. She hefts this thing up, and without even a second thought, she just swings. She brings it down on the back of Sidwell's head, and it's not a glancing blow. It is a fatal, definitive strike. Sidwell just crumples dead instantly, and I'm just sitting here like, did Willow Kane just commit first-degree murder, or is it second-degree manslaughter, heat of passion? I don't know the legal terms, I'm not Diane Miller, but the dude is dead on the Quartermain rug. And speaking of the rug, Tracy is going to be absolutely livid. You do not bleed on a Quartermain Persian rug. That's like rule number 1 of living in that house. But seriously, the psychological shift in Willow in that exact second is staggering. She goes from being a betraying wife who is secretly doozing her partner to an actual literal killer. What was I saying? Oh, right, the aftermath. So now Willow is standing there statue in hand, breathing heavily, looking down at a dead international criminal. The horror on her face is actually really well acted, I have to admit. She's looking at her hands like they don't belong to her, and she should be horrified. She just crossed a line that you cannot uncross. It makes me think back to her dawn of day cold days. Like that was this darkness always inside her. Shiloh manipulated her, sure. But did he unlock something fundamentally broken in her psyche? I know I just said the opposite earlier about her doing it out of a twisted kind of love, but hear me out. Maybe Willow has always been capable of extreme violence when she feels her control slipping. Or maybe she just panicked. I'm literally arguing with myself right now. But here's the absolute most stressful part of this entire scenario. The timing, the logistics. How on earth is she going to hide a grown man's body in the Quartermain mansion in broad daylight? The house is basically a train station. People are constantly walking in and out. Tracy could literally stroll into the dining room at any second demanding her morning tea and a croissant. Imagine Tracy's reaction. She wouldn't even be scared. She'd just be annoyed that Willow made a mess. Brooklyn could walk in stressing out about her black BMW, and the whole Curtis. And Isaiah drama. The tension is just suffocating. Willow has maybe 3 minutes to figure out what to do with a corpse before someone walks through those French doors. And it's not just Tracy or Brooklyn she has to worry about, it's Michael. Michael, who is actively trying to set her up. Okay, wait. Let me back up again because this is crucial. Michael is currently running a whole scheme to catch Willow cheating with Harrison Chase. He's pushing them together trying to create this betrayal setup. So Michael is already highly suspicious, highly alert and probably monitoring her movements. If Michael walks into that room, he's expecting to find Willow making out with Chase. Instead, he's going to find his wife standing over the bludgeoned body of Jen Sidwell. How do you even explain that? Hey honey, I know you think I'm having an affair, but actually I'm just a murderer. Like what? It's completely absurd but also terrifying. But wait, it gets worse. It gets so much worse because I completely forgot about Elaine. Elaine and the private investigator that Michael hired. Basically, Elaine is lurking outside the mansion right now. She's got her camera, she's got her telephoto lens, and she is specifically tasked with taking compromising photos of Willow. So Elaine is out there in the bushes aiming her camera at the windows. What if she was aiming at the dining room window? What if Elaine didn't catch a photo of Willow and Chase kissing, but instead caught a rapid-fire sequence of photos showing Willow bashing Sidwell's skull in with a statue? My brain is literally exploding at the implications of this. I mean, think about it. Michael hired Elaine to get evidence of infidelity. If Elaine hands him a manila envelope and he opens it expecting to see Chase and instead sees a still film and still photographs, what does Michael do? Does he turn her in? Does he use it as leverage? Does he help her cover it up because she's the mother of his kids? Michael has a history of covering up crimes. I mean, he is a Corinthos sort of kind of, but this is messy even for him. And Willow doesn't even know Elaine is out there. She's panicking about the people inside the house, completely oblivious to the sniper lens of justice pointed right at her from the rose garden. It's brilliant dramatic irony, like Shakespearean-level irony. Well, maybe not Shakespeare, but good soap irony. So what is Willow's next move? She has to drag the body. Have you ever tried to drag dead weight? I haven't, obviously, but I watch enough. True crime to know it's incredibly difficult. Sidwell is not a small guy. Willow is going to have to drag him. We're into the pantry behind the heavy velvet curtains. Is there a secret passage in the Q mansion? I feel like there was a secret passage in a storyline back in like 1998, but I might be confusing that with Windermere. Actually, Windermere definitely has secret passages. That's where Jocelyn is trapped right now with Cassius Wheezon. Wait, tangent, sorry, pulling myself back. Willow in the dining room. She has to hide the body and clean the blood before anyone sees. And what about the statue? She has to clean the statue. Does she put it back on the pedestal? If she misses a spot of blood on the bronze, Tracy will 100% notice it. Tracy notices everything. Why is the gargoyle sticky, Willow? I can literally hear Jane Elliott delivering that line. The sheer panic Willow must be feeling right now is palpable. Her breathing, the frantic looking around. And then there's the Drew of it all. She killed a man to protect Drew, but she's still paralyzing Drew. The cognitive dissonance is staggering. She's saving him so she can continue to imprison him. It's a very misery situation. She is full-on Annie Wilkes right now, and I am both terrified and absolutely fascinated by this character development. But then again, that doesn't explain why Sidwell was so careless. Why would he make a hitman call in the middle of the Quartermain house? He knows it's full of people. He knows Willow is around. It's a bit of plot hole if I'm being honest. Like go outside to the patio. Jen's take a walk by the lake. But I guess if he did that, we wouldn't have this incredible scene. I just keep thinking about the timeline. Sidwell makes the call, Willow attacks, Sidwell dies, all in the span of a few minutes. And now the entire power dynamic of Port Charles shifts. Because with Sidwell dead, what happens to his operation? What happens to Ross Cullen? Does Cullen know Sidwell is dead yet? Probably not. And how does this tie into Nina and Brennan? Because Nina just spared Brennan from the second injection, right? She's pitching a plan to work with him against Sidwell. but Willow just solved the Sidwell problem with a piece of home decor. If Nina and Brennan find out that Willow went full gladiator on Sidwell, it completely changes their strategy. Maybe Brennan helps Willow dispose of the body. He has WSB connections, he knows how to clean up a mess. But would Willow trust him? Would Nina let him? It's all so tangled. I know I just said. Michael might help her, but maybe Nina is the one who steps in.